Welcome once again to the Party of One podcast, the actual play RPG podcast where the gaming table is always set for two. I'm your host as always, Jeff Stormer. This week on the show, it is Major League Baseball opening day. I am so excited, and we are here to celebrate with some goddamn baseball. We are sitting down with Luke Carlson for a playthrough of his new game, Rivals. Rivals, inspired by the game's last shooting and final bid, is a game about sports rivalries. Two players build the shared history of a pair of sports icons from the first time that they cross paths to their final, ultimate career-making showdown. Y'all, I had so much fun playing this game. I really love sports stories. I love sports movies. I love sports. I love Philadelphia sports. Go Phils! And I had so much fun playing this game and telling this story. It was just a really wonderful experience from beginning to end. I really hope that you enjoyed listening to it, even half as much as I enjoyed playing it. I think you're going to have a blast. As always, you can learn more about the game Rivals in the show notes. And with all that said, let's go ahead and throw it over to me in the past so that he can get started with the show. Take it past me. Thanks, future me. I am so excited. I've been looking forward to this recording for a good while. I'm sitting down with Luke Carlson. Luke, thank you so much for coming on Party of One.
Hey, Jeff. Thank you so much for having me. I, too, have been looking forward to this all day. You didn't see me up in my loft like 20 minutes before recording time just staring at the computer. But suffice it to say, I have also been looking forward to this. And yeah, so today we're going to be playing a game called Rivals. This is my first full-size release of a game. So Rivals is a hack of Grant, aka Ironicus. He made a game called Last Shooting, which is a wonderful game about two mech pilots whose kind of clashes define the course of a war. That was, I believe, episode 363 of Party of One. You should definitely go back and listen to that. And
the specificity, I was going to do that in post, but I'm delighted.
Hey, I do my part. I do my best.
I appreciate it.
And that game was a hack of Vel's final bid. So I was listening to, I found Last Shooting and was instantly captivated by the idea that this could be a sports game. I like sports. I like sports movies. Anyway, so the game is about two sports rivals whose careers are partly defined or entirely defined by their rivalry for each other, their enmity, their storyline of, how they keep meeting time after time. It's definitely a sports movie thing. You think about a Major League with Jack or Vaughn, something Vaughn, I don't even know his first name, and the Yankees guy. There's just kind of this, it's him again, it's them again, it's her again. Aspect of sports movies that I just find fantastic. And so I set about writing Rivals. Along the way, I made a few changes, chiefly among them, and we'll get to this kind of when we start forming our game, but it is now modular. Last Shooting has 3 phases, kind of a first fight, second fight, third fight kind of thing. And Rivals is modular and has a kind of a library of scenes that you can pick from. So you can kind of pick what kind of confrontations interest you, and the rewards and the pre-scene questions are kind of spelled out for each of those. And so you can play 3 to 5 is typically what I recommend for people playing the game. But you can do it for 17. I mean, you bought the game, do whatever you want with it.
Love it. I don't think it is possible for me as someone who has lived in Philadelphia and grown up in the Philadelphia area to not be on some level a sports movie guy. I think that too much of our local identity is defined by one sports movie from 1976 for me to truly not have fallen in love with the sports movie as an art form in some capacity. You know what I mean?
Oh, 100%.
It's too ingrained in the place that I live for I have become in adulthood as I have learned to stop being awful. I have stopped being a sports ball guy and started just genuinely falling in love with the world of sports and sports stories and sports movies. And so this kind of story and game and experience could not be further up my alley, and I'm so excited. We have done a little bit of talking about what we want out of today's game. What are you bringing to the table? What do you want to get out of the game? What are you excited about? What are the vibes that you're bringing to the table?
Well, first of all, I think part of the really fun parts of sports movies is that you can have a villain who's a bad guy, and then the movie ends and he doesn't have to keep existing out in the world of sports.
Sure.
But I also think that one of the fun things about sports and horrifying things about sports is that everybody's like, every last second comeback is like a heartbreaking loss. And kind of just being a sports fan and going to see what does my team's subreddit, what does the other team's subreddit say after a game is just was like enlightening of, I won, but they lost, or they won and they're, gloating or not gloating or whatever. But
Sure,
I think, what does it mean inside the heads of those players? I was never an athlete of any particular renown. But I do know what it feels like to win a game and to lose a game. I do know what it feels like to strongly dislike a guy on the other team just because, well, that guy said some horrifying things, but, you get the point. But
I get the vibe. Yeah, it's a captivating experience, like when you're really in it and you're feeling that, like it is the epic highs and lows of high school football. It is
100%.
It is that sense of like, it's what it is, and the thing that I have fallen in love with over the years is like that heightened reality of like, in this, knowing simultaneously like the end result of this is that at best I will have a day off on Thursday where I go watch a parade, but in this moment this is the most important experience of my life. Like, that sort of captivating energy is just so powerful to me, and it makes the very frequent disappointment and the sort of like waking up in the morning dealing with, well, we lost, very bearable. Just that experience of we are all kind of experiencing this sort of like thrilling drama, terror, joy together, and I treasure that.
Yeah, and there's the feelings of being in that locker room saying, that guy is on the other team, or that whole other team is the scum of the earth because God knows why, and just somehow holding two things in your mind at once that obviously that's not true. They're just people like me. And on the other hand, like, yeah, I believe it. I could buy into that. You could buy into it for a little bit. And so that's kind of, I wanted to tell the story of like from both perspectives.
Sure.
And I thought like the last shooting engine that Grant came up with is just a brilliant way to do that. And I guess Vel as well. But
and I am so excited to get into it. So let's go ahead and make ourselves a sports story. We talked a little bit off mic about, what sport we were feeling, and we kind of landed on a baseball story. So I want to throw this out to you. Because obviously, like, scale of sport also kind of informs what we're doing, the story that we're telling, the beats that we're going to experience. What kind of, or I guess like what scope, scale, league, vibe are you feeling within the sport of baseball? Is this the World Series? Is this a minor league game? Like, what's the energy that you really want to chase after in the game?
Yeah. Well, one thing I really love about, seems vain to say something I love about my own game, but heck, I put work into it. Why not? One thing I really love about the game is that the scene system kind of lends itself to flexibility in the scale that you pick. Mm-hmm. And it even gives some suggestions of kind of, let's maybe take it across a step. So I'm thinking here we do some scene in the minors and something in the majors. Like,
oh, I really love
guys,
that.
Maybe even college. Like these two guys can't stop running into each other.
This is a career wide. Oh, college into minors into majors is a very good energy, and I think I would love for that to be the framing of. I'm imagining we do 3 scenes. We might do 4 if we want to like slot one more in, depending on how we're feeling. But
yeah, for sure.
I think college into minors into majors feels like a very excellent framework for us to lean in on as we dig through the game. Like, as we go from beat to beat, that feels incredibly compelling to me. And so, like, once we have that idea, talk to us about what we're doing next. Are we mapping out scenes? Are we making characters? Take the wheel and let me know what we're doing.
Yeah, so, the first thing you want to do is, of course, pick a sport, and then you kind of want to select your scenes. After that, you pick your sport and kind of your level first. You want to figure out where are we playing and what are we playing. Then you kind of want to pick your scenes, and then you'll create your athletes. So we kind of want to know what they're going to be doing, and then we'll find out who they are. Because I think knowing the path they're heading down kind of helps define who they're going to be a little bit.
For sure. Absolutely.
So if you actually want to turn to the 14th page of the PDF.
Yes.
Helpfully subtitled List of Scenes.
Yes.
So, I mean, the longer paths tend to start with first contact and end with the big one, the walk-off, shower of lights.
That feels right. I think that feels good. I really like that. I think if we're making a career-long rivalry, that feels like the first and last scene. It feels like we are following these characters as they rise through the ranks together until they finally have their one final moment for everything, I think is the story that we're telling. Right.
The scene, the end with the thing that one of us loses sleep over and the other one smiles himself to sleep about or whatever.
Yeah.
So then all we have to do is kind of pick what's the middling, or not middling, hopefully, middle scene. And do any of those strike you as particularly interesting? Some of them I don't know if would be entirely suitable. Like, I think this one's different is a fun one where something major has changed since your last clash, but I don't know if that'd be suitable here just because it's kind of already given that something has changed.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking something about us being either reluctant allies is a fun one, or something like the incident, boiling point, heat rising, something where it really starts to get not just I think I'm better than that guy, but where it's truly I do not like you.
I think I would love to pitch 4 scenes.
All right.
Because I'm thinking the first contact, I haven't decided if I want reluctant ally second or third, but the other one that I really want to throw in, because I think it's really fun to imagine these characters clashing over this, is award winning. Both of us going after the same award in whatever league we're in, we're both chasing after the same award. I think that really gives a wonderful kind of energy. And then end with the big one. I think those 4 scenes in some order feels like a wonderful story to build.
That sounds fantastic. So I just marked those 4 down. I kind of just put the 2 right next to each other, and we can maybe just play it by ear. One thing that it's not as relevant in other sports, but in baseball it's definitely important. What kind of rivalry do we want to have? Because baseball, there's a couple different ways we could take this. So we could go batter and batter, like a shortstop and a third baseman, or even 2 shortstops. That could be the award-winning thing we go for, is that we're kind of in the same minor system, but there's only one starting job.
Sure.
That's something that just came across my mind. Or we could go a pitcher versus a batter, to where that is just the quintessential staring down the plate at each other thing. We could also do pitcher versus pitcher, which is the third option, and kind of just assume this takes place in a world where pitchers still hit, or in a league where pitchers still hit.
I mean, admittedly, I do love pitchers. I have a thought. I know you mentioned we're both competing for the same job, and as you were saying those words, a really specific rivalry popped into my head that I kind of can't shake, and that riffing on a little bit and figuring out our particular spin on feels incredibly fun to me. Not to date myself, not to age myself and date myself live on the podcast, but I was of a young my adolescence was defined by one thing, and that was the home run wars of Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa. That defined my childhood in a way that that has maybe never fully left. There's something about the entire nation becoming captivated by which of these 2 men are going to hit more dingers has shaped my opinion on baseball for decades in ways that I have never fully unpacked.
Perfect. So we're talking 2 power hitters here.
We're talking two pinch hitters, both of whom are, because that also gives a very natural rivalry, especially like you said, if one of our scenes is that we're chasing the same opportunity, that's a pretty specific role on a team if you are the power hitter. And I say this as a Philadelphia Phillies fan in 2024, which is to say, someone who has tragically watched what happens if you stock a team with nothing but power hitters. So like that sense of like we are chasing after a very specific job. We have a very specific niche, and it's a niche that draws itself towards like captivating an audience in the exact same way that I think is really, really compelling.
I think that sounds fantastic. First of all, 2019 Minnesota Twins had the exact same problem, and I am a Midwest Twins fan forever, so I completely understand.
You understand the vibe.
I do. The name Miguel Sano will forever bring out awe and just a deep sadness that he couldn't make contact with the ball more often forever. But
sure,
that's sports for you.
That's sports. That's the magic of sport. I love it.
I love that. So we got two dinger men. That's an interesting turn of phrase. But
dudes hitting dingers. It's
dudes hitting dingers.
Dudes hitting dingers. All right. I love it. I love it so much. So I believe that we are going to make some characters.
Yes. So yeah, I mean, we just make characters. The character sheet that is going to be coming with the game is in the shape of a sports card where you can fill in the details yourself. And if you are an artist, there'll be a space where you can draw your character. I am not, so there'll be a little stick man holding a stick baseball bat.
Sure.
But so character-wise, we are just going to create, basically, I just want to figure out who these characters are. Considering the span that we've selected, it's not that important to name their teams at first or for the whole game. But feel free to pick whatever college you'd like to start with. But yeah, first of all, just a nickname or just a name is good. Nicknames and stuff like that all will be kind of defined through the process of the game, through the bidding process, and we'll get to that when we get closer. So we're defining them who they are at the moment that the rivalry begins. At the moment they pull up for this college game, So first of all, we just need a name, and then you're going to want a motivation. If you go to page 8 on the PDF,
yes,
6,
indeed,
there's a D10 chart. Again, stole that idea directly from Grant. Thank you, Grant. And if you want to roll a D10, I know rolling dice is extremely fun, and that kind of is just, what is my character's motivation for sports? Why?
I will never not roll a dice if I have the opportunity to roll a dice. It's great. Rolling dice is fun.
All right. So, should we define our names first, or is this gonna be kind of a revealed as a whole package thing at the end?
We can reveal our names. We can talk through it. I've got a name. I did give myself a nickname. I'm perfectly fine offering it up to be lost later, but. When you come up with a real good baseball name, you kind of just got to chase after it.
Oh, 100%. So I got... Okay. So go ahead.
My name is Sam Slam Bam Badwin.
That's amazing. Slam Bam Sam?
Sam? Slam Bam Sam. Just Slam Bam. People just call him Slam Bam.
Oh, yeah. 100%. Somebody in the crowd at this game is everyone's warming up, has a sign that says Slam Bam.
Slam Bam, Slam Bam.
It's somebody sells the sign that says Whoa Black Betty, Slam Bam. It's not correct, but it's
close enough.
Baseball. Yeah.
It's close enough to get the college crowd excited. And my motivation is I could not be more happy that I rolled a 1. My motivation is career. Okay.
And so each of the motivations actually comes with a little question to be answered. Again, everything in this game is kind of meant to be answered out loud. This is a collaborative game, no secrets, stuff like that. If you want a game like that, play a different game. I'm sorry. So the question for career is, what about sports makes you want to do it forever?
It is genuinely the roar of the crowd. And I think that's kind of what drew Slam Bam towards being a power hitter specifically. That's a skill you kind of have to cultivate. I think it is truly that moment when you do something really, really wild and the entire crowd kind of whether they love you or hate you, they become swept up in this moment. there's nothing like it on this earth. And so I've been on the other side of that. I've been swept up in that moment. I have watched players obliterate the ball, and I have cheered and booed with the entire stadium.
And that is, he loves to ride that wave.
It's all about that wave. It's all about that moment where you feel like the vibrations from the crowd screaming is going to tear down the stadium around you.
That is amazing. I have come close to feeling that like once or twice in my entire life, in my brief career as a professional wrestler, which we can talk about later, but it is addicting. I completely I understand Sam.
You get the vibe. You get the vibe.
Fast. Oh boy. Right.
I wrote it out and then realized I will not be saying his name and will only be saying Slam Bam until he loses that nickname, because it's too good of a name for me to change, but I'm not going to try saying it 10 times fast. He's just, in my mind, he's just Slam Bam until he loses that nickname.
You know what? Yeah, no, that's fair. That one's free. I'll give that one to you for free. Like, if anyone's entitled to give that to you for free, I think I am. So that's great. So I've got Danny D'Angelo. And the motivation I rolled for his real name is Daniel. His mother calls him Daniel, but nobody else does. It's just Danny D'Angelo. And the motivation I rolled is a 7, which is providing. So the question is, who depends on the income from this? And I'm going to say that he is the oldest of 7 kids.
Okay.
And that there is no way that they would be able to go to college if Danny doesn't make it. Like he himself only got in on an athletics scholarship, and he has 6 younger siblings, and they are not going to be able to afford to go to college without him, and none of them would ever even dream of pointing that out to him. Like no one has ever said that outside himself, which makes it worse because he knows they know, and he knows they won't say anything. And so it's all that internal pressure of he's like, listen, I know I can hit, and if I can make it all the way, then they can all go to college and be the doctors and engineers and lawyers that they were meant to be. And I'm just a guy who hits the ball. That's what I got for Danny so far.
I love that. I really, really adore that. That's fantastic. I'm so excited.
All right. So then third, you go ahead and define your age, your role on the team, if applicable, and your team name, if applicable. All of that is applicable right now. I think we said we're college guys, right? So we're talking...
Yeah.
I completely forgot how old college kids are. 21?
19, 20, 21?
Yeah. I'm just going to say Danny is 21. Why not? And then role on the team, we'll say third base, pinch hitter. You know, he's probably good enough to play third in college. Whether that translates to the big leagues, we'll see.
I'm writing down 23-year-old first baseman. I like the idea that he's a little bit old for a college player. That's very compelling to me.
Sure. It makes sense. He's using all his eligibility.
Yeah, he is riding this. He's staying here as long as he can, and it's not... I don't even know. We'll find out in play maybe, but I don't even know if it's necessarily I'm waiting until somebody scouts me, or if it's just I'm not ready to leave yet.
Sure, I can play here. People have signs for me here. Come on, makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. Then there are pregame questions. There's a lot of questions in this game. A lot of it is just we don't get an hour and a half long movie with exposition and everything, so we kind of make our own stories, of course. So the pregame questions. Firstly, how long have you been involved with the sport?
How long have I been in? I think, informally, my entire life. Formally, I probably picked it up in elementary school.
Okay.
But some of my earliest memories are going to games, going to Dollar Dog Night and getting 7 hot dogs and just losing my mind in the crowd. And so it's kind of it's always been in my life, and from a very young age I like felt the pull of getting involved in the game itself.
Perfect. Okay. Love that. I'm going to say for Danny, like he's been involved probably since elementary as well. His school he could play t-ball for free and he could play baseball for free as long as he did it with the school. So he wasn't on like travel teams or anything like that. And that's kind of maybe why he's not really expecting to be scouted or anything, but he's trying. But he didn't go to the travel teams. He didn't go to the really far away tournaments. He actually went to tech school right out of high school. And then his coach talked to somebody who talked to somebody. And then the college said, hey, we can come try you out. Can't promise anything. And, he made it to the team from there and got the scholarship and all that. So I'm going to say I'm just going to say on and off forever.
Love that.
All right. And now you don't have to answer all the pregame questions. It's kind of, there's like 3 questions for each block of questions, I guess, that comes up. And you can kind of just do whichever ones
yeah.
strike your fancy. So I'm good with the amount of pregame stuff we've got. If you are.
I think we've got handles on the characters. I'm feeling pretty good. Let's go ahead and dive into our first contact.
Yeah. So the first team we selected is First Contact. Then you just want to read the scene description.
Absolutely. This is the first encounter between the two of you. Though it may be far from the first time you've played your sport, this is your first encounter with your rival, and maybe the moment historians dig into the archives for.
All right. So there are a couple of pre-scene questions there for First Contact. Which one of those strikes your fancy?
Let's see. The 3 questions. What is your mood headed into the scene? Do you have a positive or negative momentum at this moment? And have you had a rival before? I think this I'm thinking Slam Bam, he's older. He's been on his college team for a good long while. I kind of think I've got positive momentum heading into this moment because I'm visualizing this point of my college career being a little bit that I am the elder player on the team. Like I'm a little bit not maybe not the formal captain, but like a little bit of a locker room leader. Like, and I am as much the older brother to the team as I am like a player on the team. Like this is very much I have just there's a sense among like fans of a certain class or among the players that are around me that like Slam Bam's always just kind of been there. Like he's always just kind of been on the field with us. And like, so like, it's sort of it's less of a victory lap and more of a foregone conclusion that I'm on the team and playing out with everyone.
Okay, sure. I like that a lot. I'm going to say like Danny has negative momentum at this moment. I think that's just interesting. His contact has kind of dried up a little bit. Like he's still blasting it over the fence when he makes contact, but it's not as often. He maybe hasn't had a hit the last like 2 games. They won, but he hasn't had a hit, and he's kind of just like everyone's just trying to make him feel better about it. And he just can't. He's frustrated. I think he's frustrated. It's his mood coming into the scene.
That feels great. I love that. I really, really enjoy that.
That answered the first question too, but whatever. All right. So now
that's the magic. That's the magic.
That's the magic. So let's go ahead and picture this. Like what's going on at this time?
I would love to. I guess the first question I want to throw you is which of us steps to bat first? Because I think that's probably when we become aware of one another. Is when one of us kind of steps up to bat and we see our rival play for the first time. Like that to me is the moment that I kind of want to like poke at first.
Okay, that's really good. I think I'll throw it back to you then. Which one of us is home and which one is away?
I feel like for where we're both at, it feels like from the answers we both gave, it feels more like Slam Bam is at home. It feels more like this is the home crowd. This is I think this is not necessarily like a high stakes game. Like it feels almost more satisfying if this is sort of a casual, like a notch on the schedule, something that is pretty ordinary, and like we're kind of just cruising. Like it's an otherwise forgettable day, is I guess what I would say.
Like early regular season, like every game so far has gone pretty much how you expected, and then like today.
And then today happens.
Great. Have you decided where you want to be playing? Team?
I have not. I am going to say this is, you know what feels really, really nice. Actually, this is a character bit that feels really good, and also kind of gives some context to being to Slam Bam's age a little bit. Is I transferred from like a very small town college, like the McCluskeyville, sea shrimp. I was a sea shrimp until I transferred to the what's a good. I just played a game where I was a Philly school, and I don't feel like I want to do that again, but I might. You know what? I'm gonna go with my actual college alma mater. I don't actually know if our baseball team is any good, but transferring to like a state school like an Ohio State feels very satisfying for a character that is like career focused.
Okay.
And spent several years like at like a small town school, just enough to get noticed, and then like has transferred to a larger school, a larger sports school specifically, with kind of an end goal of seeing some of like getting like advancing my career. Like this is there's a little bit of tactical nature behind the scenes.
Okay, for sure. Like this is a career move.
Yeah,
and you've even spent some time here. You probably had to sit out your first year because of NCAA regulations, but you didn't sit out. You ingratiated yourself with everybody, and now you're Slam Bam. Everybody loves Slam Bam.
I'm Slam Bam now. This is great.
I'm gonna buy a Slam Bam jersey like after we get off. Anyway,
I'm feeling the energy.
All right, so I'm gonna say Danny is we're in. You said Ohio State, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So I'm gonna say Danny has been on a long, miserable bus ride from New Jersey, where his family lives. He's like 30 minutes away from his house at the college, and I'm just gonna say New Jersey State. I don't know if that's a college or not, but
that feels good. I like this.
Enough.
I like this energy.
Yeah, New Jersey State. I don't even know. Traffic. That's their mascot. I'm sticking to it. The New Jersey State Traffic.
That's funny. Look, as someone from New Jersey, the New Jersey State Traffic, very funny. I need that note.
All right, so we got New Jersey State Traffic. We're gonna gridlock you. No one can come up with a good chant.
Sure, it doesn't chant well.
Right, whoever came up with this, I'm sure they were doing their best. So, New Jersey State Traffic traveling to face Ohio State, and I believe that would indicate that we are up to bat first.
Okay.
And he's a power hitter still, even if he's not necessarily hitting well right now. Like, they're not going to move the lineup. Like, nobody wants to make him sad or like upset.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that would indicate that Danny's up first.
And I feel like, how does it feel to Danny when you, because I think the this is a great dual perspective moment that you are already frustrated. You've had a losing streak. How does it feel to break that losing streak at this moment on the first big hit?
All right. So, I think it would feel just relief more than elation.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's what he would feel at that moment. So, yeah, right now we're going to start. We got our scene system. We're going to start the auction with the buy-in. And my mind, my buy-in immediately goes to, I'm going to define a nickname right away.
Sure.
Because, Danny's not always hitting, but to be honest, I wrote the character's name with this nickname in mind. So it is, I'm going to buy in, because that's what we do at the beginning of an auction. We each buy in about roughly simultaneously. I'm going to buy in with the nickname Danny Dingers.
Danny Dingers is really good.
And so I'm thinking that Danny goes up and just blasts the cover off the first one, and he doesn't even run for a second, doesn't even jog. He just stares at it and prays that it just goes over the fence.
I love that moment because I think Slam Bam has like this moment of like seeing that and almost not like not initially running after the ball, in part because like as a power hitter he's kind of got an eye for that's a home run. I don't need to chase that. Like I've seen that footage before. I know that that's leaving. I know that that's going over the fence. I am in fact I feel like it makes perfect sense to also like buy in here. Because there's this moment of awe, right? Like there's this moment of like quiet kind of awe, and it's just sort of like, well, shit.
Mm-hmm.
And so I want to now like flip it around on you a little bit, because I'm also buying in. Since I've already got it on the page, I'm also buying in with my nickname of Slam Bam. What does the same moment feel like for Danny?
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking, right, Ohio State fans are probably expecting a win here. Like, New Jersey State is not the biggest college in the world,
Sure.
mostly because it doesn't exist, but it helps. And so the crowd went, like, quiet when Danny blasted, the first pitch he saw and made it 2-0, like, immediately, first inning off one of their better guys. And the crowd went quiet, and the crowd stayed quiet as kind of, the inning played out. The first batter comes and goes, New Jersey strikes him out. Second batter comes and goes, and then the crowd gets loud, even though they have nothing to get loud about. And that's the moment that makes Danny, like, look up. He's not watching the game. And, he's playing. He's on third, but nothing's happened yet. And, like, he just kind of, like, he doesn't usually think about the batters. That's not his job. He's not the pitcher. But this is, like, the first time in a while he's consciously thinking, like, who is that guy? And not in a, like, disdainful way and not in an odd way. He just wants to know. Because the crowd starts chanting, slam, bam, slam, bam. And he's just like, huh. And when Slam Bam puts the first pitch he sees, 20 feet farther, Danny knows that the other one went 20 feet farther than his. He's just like, damn. And, as Slam Bam's rounding, how does Slam Bam round the bases? I'm really curious.
Slam Bam, like, I think there's a level of... I think what's interesting is, like, it's physically a very similar kind of reaction to Danny's. Like, but whereas yours is rooted in a kind of relief, like, there's truly just I would almost consider it a contentment of, a, like, yeah... That's it. This is it. Like, this is the magic. This is the moment. This is what I do, and I'm goddamn good at it. Like, there is this sense of, like, he doesn't run for a moment in the same way that Danny didn't run for a moment, but it's this kind of, like, you see, like, a deep sigh of, like, as the crowd is hooting and chanting, like, there's just that deep sigh of, like, yeah, this is what it's for. And then, like, a very... casual jog almost. Like, it's not so slow that it feels like he's milking it, but it does feel like he's like taking in this moment, even though it is kind of a nothing game, a hit that he kind of was expected to make. He is still kind of like feeding in that moment with every ounce of his being.
Yeah, I think what strikes Danny as probably what struck Sam as Danny was coming is that he wasn't smiling when he got to first. Because you're on first, right?
Yeah.
So when he got to first and, like, rounded it, he wasn't even, like, smiling. But, like, by the time he got back home, he was smiling as his teammates kind of mobbed him or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And what strikes Danny, I think, is that Sam isn't milking it because he wants to rub it in their faces. He's milking it because he doesn't want to stop. Like, he would go another time around the bases if he could.
Yeah, exactly. You got it exactly. Like, it's this sense of just, like, loving the moment that he's experiencing.
Yeah, and so as Danny watches Sam, like, round third, because of course Danny's on third, he just kind of is envious for a minute of, like, I wish I could not care like he does.
Sure,
it's not about
yeah.
Like, he could have bunted and got a single, and if he got to bask in that the same, he wouldn't care.
I love that. I really
that's the
adore
vibe
that.
Danny gets. I don't know if it's true or not, but that's what Danny thinks.
That feels wonderful. I really love this energy. I love this energy. I love the dynamic that's taken shape. This is fantastic.
This is beautiful. All right, so one of the other things about Rivals is that because of the flexible amount of rounds, the amount of bids you get per round changes. So on the first round, you get a buy-in and one raise each. So we can only raise one more time each year, and you cannot bid to destroy in the first round, which we only have one thing each at this point, so that would feel sort of silly. So what, are you feeling like you want to bid first, or?
Yeah, I think so. I'm thinking I really love, I have to think about it for a second, what my answer is. My walkout song is the song Hammer to Fall by Queen. Cause we're waiting for the hammer to fall.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm raising my walkout song because I think like there's an energy when that song hits. I think like you feel the energy shift when that song comes on because the crowd knows what's about to happen. And like they've cut it in just such a way that like as I walk up to bat is when you hear like we're just waiting for the hammer to fall, and then the guitar riff hits, and that's when I pick up the bat, and like it is clearly setting up a like, all right, well here the hammer is about to fall. There's about to be a ball that exits the court.
Oh, I'm getting excited just like sitting over here. This is for sure. That's beautiful. Yeah, and the crowd is like singing along, but not well, you know?
Yeah.
I love that. That's beautiful. And I'm gonna assume that he just blasts another one.
Yeah, I like that this is, this is a moment, this is a game that is, and it's not showing off. Like, I think that, how does Danny react seeing that, like, on the second straight home run, like, there isn't still a sense of bigness to it. Like, it's still small. It's still like a small moment of just kind of like jogging and taking it in. It's almost like the other team isn't here. You know what I mean? Like, it's almost like you feel inessential as he runs by. Like he's like, you are invisible when it's him and the fans.
Mm. I think that Danny is kind of offended, and it's mostly because Danny was getting jealous, right? He's jealous of Sam the first time around and his thing. And, like, New Jersey State just doesn't really have passionate fans like Ohio State does. Like, there's, like, a couple dozen people who come to a game, and, like, they mostly make their money by, like, accepting requests to play bigger teams.
Sure.
You know, Ohio State pays us, a bunch of money, and we come out and we play them, and probably we lose or whatever. And so the fan base there isn't so much that, and like the fans here don't care about New Jersey State at all. They probably couldn't tell you who they were playing. And like somebody in the crowd told him to go back to North Carolina because he sucks. And he's just like more annoyed at that. And then that guy is losing his mind as Sam rounds the bases again. And Sam is basking in it. And that guy is just adoring him. And Danny is just annoyed. It's like, really? You don't... Like, why doesn't baseball matter to you?
That fucking rips. That line fucking got me, and I'm hyped. What is your other bid?
So, I think I am going to bid a relationship with family. Because there are not a lot of New Jersey State fans, and even fewer of them that drove all the way out to Ohio. But, like, two of his sisters, like, caught a ride with somebody. One of his sisters is actually a cheerleader on the team. And I don't know, baseball have cheerleaders? I don't know. She's an equipment manager. There we go. And she took the job just so she could come watch Danny. Like, she could have been, in library science or something.
Sure.
Or she could have been, not library science, I don't know. She could have had any other, like, part-time job. But she spends her time hanging out with the college team. She's, like, middle high school, junior in high school or something. And she spends her time, like, washing sweaty uniforms and all that so she can watch Danny play because...
And
Like, on one
and
hand, she really wants him to succeed, and she's happy for him, and she hopes he's having fun. And on the other hand, she's also watching her future out there, too. Because if he succeeds, they all succeed. And, like, she doesn't know why she's not... Or she knows that there's kind of a split loyalty there. But, like, Danny loves having her there. And, you know, he, like, sees her, like, passing out water bottles as he's, like, getting up. And she just, like... He's, like, on deck or something, and she just like pats his leg as she's like handing out water bottles, and like, yeah.
And the thing that stands out to me, the thing that hits for me specifically is, I know this very well as somebody that grew up in New Jersey and went to Ohio State. Like that is the drive from New Jersey to Ohio State is specifically almost 500 miles to the dot, depending on where you are in the state, and it is primarily through the worst chunks of the Pennsylvania Turnpike, where it is a 2-lane road through the woods. Like there is nothing. It is a long, tough drive, and so to make that drive like for someone like that that is an incredibly like strong bond between them to kind of like commit to what was honestly a pretty miserable commute to go to Ohio from New Jersey and back.
For sure. She had to ride she's an equipment manager, so she had to ride the bus with all like the college boys who just frankly don't care. Like she doesn't have any friends on the bus.
Sure.
Like occasionally the coaches' wives will talk to her if the game is close and they come, but like otherwise it is a very lonely bus ride out, and then she does dirty work and it's a lonely bus ride back. And like Danny talks to her sometimes, but sometimes he wants to just talk to the guys, and sometimes he just wants to sleep the way home, and she can't sleep in the road, so it's just her. She might be the only person besides the driver awake the whole ride home, and it's just quiet.
I love that. I really like that. That's great.
So that is my raise. Relationship, family.
Okay.
All right, and now the interesting part. We have raised the stakes, and we are going to call it now. So we're going to go ahead and go back over everything we raised. Not very long in this scene, but why don't you go first?
So what I have raised this time is my walkout song, Queen's Hammer to Fall, and my nickname of Slam Bam.
All right, and I raised my nickname of Danny Dingers and relationship with family, defined as dutiful sister.
Love that. Love that. Love that.
So now basically the key part of this game is defining which bid is more meaningful. And of course, meaning is entirely subjective and is kind of just down to the moment and the vibes. And if a meaningful bid relates strongly to the current scene, to each player's stakes in it, and sets your athletes apart both from each other and from everyone else. So, which bid do we think is more meaningful for the situation of this is a random game in like the regular season of baseball?
I feel like I think it's yours, and here's why.
Okay.
I think that like your bids have made it not a regular non-entity game of baseball. Like the fact that like you have a commitment to winning this game that I in my bids don't have. And we kind of saw that in the scene of like we feel that frustration settle in. Your sister is here rooting you on. Like for me and my bids, this is it's an inverted M. Bison. For me, this is Tuesday. For you, this is the most important game of your life. And so like it's almost, I see it almost as a, like, it catches everyone by surprise when we either lose or when the game is so much more close and intense. I will kind of leave that for you to color in, but, like, that's the vibe that I get.
Yeah. And I'm going to say that we win just because, like, an unexpected loss in baseball isn't so outlandish that it's, I think, making true superhuman out of me, you know? It's baseball. Even the good teams will lose 6, 7, 8, 10 games a season, even in college or whatever. So I don't think it's not like anyone's going to be calling for your coach's head after this.
Yeah.
You know, you guys might get yelled at a little bit, like, really, you lost to New Jersey State? But, like, the Ohio State crowd will always be there for Slam Bam, and like
I love this.
So I think I will agree with you on that one. That sounds good to me. So Danny wins round one, and now we kind of just play the scene out, and I think that we kind of just want to just jump from where we just were, with like she pats his leg and he gets up, and I think instead of like, I don't know if your pitcher's trying to pitch around him a little bit, but like obviously he makes good contact, but he kind of just shifts at the last second, and instead of making slight contact to the outside or even like a high fly over the wall, it's a like scorching line drive that just barely clears the wall. And I think that to make it add a little insult to injury, it goes like not so close over your head that you could have caught it, but it goes over your head.
Sure.
Like right down the first baseline. It's fair by like 4 feet, but it's fair and it's over the wall.
I think Slam Bam has the exact same reaction to that hit that he did when you stripped the first one. Like, I think it is truly Slam Bam is like watching you hit it. It's not as precise as the last one. It's not as clean a home run, but Slam Bam still has this note in the back of his mind like, that's a home run. That's gonna just barely clear the wall, but that's gonna be a home run. And like doesn't really even like turn to look at it because he can't quite take his eyes off of Danny Dingers. Like, and there's this kind of almost awe in it. There's this almost sense of like, God damn, like that should not have been a home run, but this guy is gonna turn it into a home run. And is sort of like, it's sort of witnessing it's realizing, oh, this is going to be a much larger thing. Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I think like you kind of like, you don't even look at it, and Danny like looks at you as he drops the bat, and like starts trotting towards first. Actually, he probably takes off towards first because he's not sure it's going over.
Mm-hmm.
And then about halfway down, he does. And then he makes eye contact with you.
Yeah, well, and here's how I want to like even maybe escalate that a notch further. I think like you get maybe halfway. You start to see it clear the fence, you know that it's going over, you know that it's a home run. And when you lock eyes with me, I have kind of like taken a step back. Like, I'm in my head, like, I'm not even gonna bother. Like, even if it wasn't a home run, which I was certain in my brain it was, you're at least gonna clear. You're at least gonna clear first before I have a chance to grab the ball. Like, it's not even worth trying to stop this. You have just done it.
Yeah, and I think Danny sees that and decides that he wants to make a point. And so he, like, stomps on first. Like, sometimes you kind of just brush first running around the base. No, he stomps first and changes his mind and starts celebrating the home run like it's a game winner because, like, it is. Like, that put them ahead. And before he was, like, awesome. Before he, like, kind of was like, phew, I did it. I didn't screw up. And now he changes to celebrating. And I think that he's celebrating whatever something you did makes him celebrate. I don't know what you think it is, but he decides, like, you know what? Baseball matters. And he just celebrates the home run, like, jumps into his teammates' arms, and it's, like, the first one looked like he was going to his funeral, and this one is just, he's delighted. And he really is.
Huh. That rules. That's sick. That's fantastic.
This is great. So, the winner of this scene, there's a reward for each scene we do. The winner of this scene may define an attribute directly related to their success in this endeavor. And I'm going to give myself I'm going to go define skill offensive. And I'm trying to figure out how I want to word this. I'm just going to say, like, outside home runs. I think this is like the turning point in his season when he his whole next week he focuses on like spotting, like, that could be like, you know what I mean? Like when something's a ball outside, sometimes it's a slower. And so he kind of works on just like stepping to it and lacing it out of the park.
Love that. Really, really love that.
That really helps him for the rest of the season. So I'm going to define my offensive skill as just outside home runs. All right, and then there are post-scene questions. It's on page 14 under first contact. Any of those post-scene questions really jumping out at you? We don't have to answer the same one either.
Why can't I forget Danny? One, because you beat me, and I didn't see that coming, and I'm like delighted and impressed by it, but also like it's that stomp. It's the fact that like it's when you realize that someone is taking something more seriously than you. And going like, this is, I wasn't considering that this was going to be a thing. And now I am seeing that, like, you got mad. Okay. All right, then. And, like, I think it's the thing. And the other question that I want to answer is, like, what about your rival is stuck with you? I think it is, like, those were gorgeous home runs. Like those were mind shatter. Or that first one was a mind shattering home run. The second one like shouldn't have been a home run, but you were good enough that you turned it into one. And like I'm just like I've been thinking about that and cycling it in my mind and going like that second hit. That's skill. And like that's the thing that gets stuck in his mind.
Okay, I like that a lot. All right. So for me, I think, why can't you forget them? Like, it was almost like college sports is a huge commitment. Like, you are giving up a lot of potential social time, studying time, all that jazz to be there, and you are absent quite often. And like, I went to a D2 college, and I still had friends who were athletes that sacrificed a lot to be Division II golfers. So like Division I baseball is a huge commitment. And like, I don't know if I'd ever considered the possibility of someone not taking it seriously before. And I don't get it. I'm like, I know you're good. I watched you hit those two out of the park. You know, the crowd loves you for a reason. And I just don't get it. And so the other question I want to answer is, what form does your interest in them take? So we'll make it two scenes. For one, like on the bus back home from Ohio State, like everyone else is like passed out after celebrating. They're just dead tired, you know. Like you can't celebrate all 500 miles home. That's a long drive. So partway down, everyone like simmered down and went to sleep or is doing whatever. And like Danny is sitting next to his sister and is just like got your page open on Ohio State baseball's website, and he is just poring over it and just trying to figure out why. And like, you not care because you know you won't be good enough? And that's not it, because he can see your stats and the highlights, and like, why don't you care? That's what he's trying to figure out. And then for the other half of that, what form does your interest in them take? For the rest of the season, Danny D'Angelo knows when every Ohio State baseball game is, and he checks the box score after every single one.
Love it. Adore it. And
I think he sees something change. I don't know what, but I don't know. I think he just sees something is different.
There's a marked change, and I want to flesh that out. I know I said I wanted to do 4 scenes. I'm looking at the clock. I think this is a 3-scene game. So I want to ask you, do you want to do award winning or do you want to do reluctant allies? I've got a vibe I'm leaning towards but I want to hear your thoughts.
Okay. I was thinking award winning.
Okay, let's go for it.
What do you got?
I was pulling towards reluctant allies, but like award winning feels so fun to me, especially like with the characters that we've set up, especially like moving into the minor leagues. Like if we're in a similar position, a similar vibe, we fill a similar slot on a team, it makes a lot of sense for us to be kind of like chasing an award against one another.
So we both have our eyes set on same award, a recognition of individual excellence. However, only one of us can be the winner. As the race boils down to just the two of you, what will you sacrifice to succeed? So what award are you thinking these two guys are going for? Because I think we are in the minors right now, right?
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if this is just kind of the idea I have. I'm thinking this is like, I think this is our rookie season, or our AAA season. Like, this is our breakthrough season, and I think that we're just about to break through as like real players. Like, people are talking about us on the prospect podcasts, and we have names on charts and stuff. But like this season, we're not quite ready yet, but we're getting there. We're on the verge, and we're AAA, and like we're going for the AAA like home run record or home run. Like most homers in the minors this entire year.
Yeah. I did a Google because I was like, there certainly has to be something, and I am excited to announce that the Joe Bowman Home Run Award, formerly known as the Round Tripper Award, is given to the minor league baseball player who hits the most regular season home runs in a given year.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Shout out to Joe Bowman, whoever he is.
Whoever you are, we appreciate the number of dingers that you hit. You really knocked it out of the park, literally and metaphorically.
All right. Well, we got our bases set, so.
All right. Pre-scene questions.
Yes. So the 3 questions are: have you ever won or come close to winning this award before? Does the award mean more to you or taking it away from your rival? And are you the favorite for an award or a dark horse? So which of those sounds fun to you? And we don't have to pick the same ones, of course.
I am thinking, I'm gonna Jeff Stormer an answer real quick, and say like, I think this is a neck and neck. Like, I think that we are heading into, maybe we're playing against each other, maybe we're not, but like, whatever this moment is, like, we are neck and neck. It really is whoever does better in this game takes home the award. Like, it is, there have been weeks where you have ended 1 or 2 runs ahead. There have been weeks where I have ended 1 or 2 runs ahead, but like, there has been at no point in the season a vibe where one of us has run away with the standings.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna pitch something real quick. Feel free to not go with it if you're not feeling it. I'm thinking I'm gonna say I got hurt. Now, I don't know. One of us got hurt. I don't know. We can if one of us loves the vibe, we can jump on it. One of us got hurt. The other person hit home runs while they were gone and was up like 3, right? Not a ton, but like 3. And the person like came back sooner than was projected and hit 3 in like one night.
Oh, that fucking rips.
And
rips.
And now we're head to head. I'm saying, listen, it's contrived to have us face each other, but there's no such thing as too contrived for a sports movie. So I am down to just be facing each other again.
That feels great. I think it feels great. And like, that's it. I think this is a minor league game that has attracted a little bit of national buzz kind of for that reason. Like, that makes this game pretty cool and exciting. Like the idea that like whoever does better at this game takes home this home run award makes this a pretty cool, interesting, and exciting game that I think is like, there's a little bit of buzz, which just adds to the tension of we both have to give this everything we've got.
Yeah, I love that. So, we got our kind of our scene set. What do you think of the pre-scene questions?
Pre-scene questions.
Got, have you ever won or come close to winning this award before? Does the award mean more to you or taking it away from your rival? And are you a favorite for the award or a dark horse?
I think I came close to winning this in college. Like, I came close to winning an equivalent thing in college. I came close to winning a similar award in college.
What if it was the same season that we faced off?
Yeah, I think that feels great. If it's the same season, like, I almost took it, but, and I think this is, to what we saw earlier, this is probably something that eats Danny alive a little bit. I didn't, like, had I taken it a little bit more seriously, I might have taken it home.
Even if you had taken it seriously just a little bit sooner, like if you had put it to the metal just before.
If I had gone, like, the only way to really put it is if I had gone for it.
Yeah.
Like, I got within spitting distance of it. Like, I wasn't necessarily, like, the second highest. I was probably, like, 5th or 6th. But it's one of those things of, like, if he had gone for it, if you had taken this, if you had actually chased after this, there's a real chance you could have taken the award.
Yeah, I like that a lot. That's really good. I think, does this award mean more to you or taking it away for your rival? To Danny, it means more. Danny doesn't know.
Mm-hmm.
And that eats him because he doesn't want to be a hater, but he wants to prove himself, and he wants to prove his effort, and that mostly comes in contrast. Like, I worked hard for this award, and I want to win it to prove that you have to work hard for this award. And, like, he would never, like, publicly say he didn't think you worked hard enough, and maybe you had, but Danny just can't believe it.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't really think you changed.
That feels great. And I think that offers up a really, really, like, exciting and compelling moment for when I think that answers the question of which of us came back hurt, because, like, to me, that, like, Danny having that perspective presents such a, like, it makes it such a big moment when Sam comes back hurt and hits 3 runs, like, ties it up with 3 home runs after coming back while injured to even the score up for this game. Like, for you to be like, I don't know if you're taking this seriously, and for him to be like, I'm coming out of injury to fucking tie this up, and I'm gonna beat you in this fucking game.
Yeah, and nobody in the world knows about it. He pretended he was sick, but he skipped a team dinner to watch the game entirely on his phone.
That's great.
Like, in a hotel room by himself.
That's fantastic. This fucking rips. I'm so excited. Okay, so why don't we go ahead and I think that we've got the scene set a little bit. Why don't we go ahead and buy in?
I think I'm gonna buy in with reputation.
Mm-hmm.
And his reputation is just like scrappy consistency.
Sure.
He like, it's weird for a guy with as much natural power as him. But, like, he always seems like he is, like, eking out his runs, eking out his power, but he always, like, comes through, and that's his reputation. He's rarely the guy that's going to get you, like, 3 home, like, he hasn't hit 3 home runs in a game all year, I think. Like, he's not hit it since he joined the minors, not hit 3 home runs in a game. But he, like, maybe he hasn't gone, like, without a hit for a really long time now. Like, he almost completely flipped from college. Like, now he's a contact hitter.
Sure.
But he isn't just exploding with runs.
And I am buying in with an ability mental, which is, I've written down unflappable. I think it is, it is clear that I have been, it is clear that this award, that our rivalry, that this game is in my head. Like, it is clear that it is living rent-free in my head. I wouldn't have come back early from an injury if it wasn't. But, like, when you see me, walk up to the bat or walk up to the plate, you see me hit the first home run of the night, it is serenity. Like, it is truly that, like, you know more than anyone that you are in my head, but, like, when I am behind the plate and when I'm taking that swing, my brain is elsewhere. I am in a field.
That's good. All right. So as the second scene, I believe we get, okay. So, we did change it after the first scene, so typically in a 3-hour game, the first scene would get 2 raises, but that's okay. For this one, for the second round, the winner gets 2 raises, and the loser gets 3 raises. So you actually get to raise more than I do, just kind of as, like, whoever loses the first encounter has more momentum, more motivation, etc. That kind of just lends to that. So,
sure.
That's 2 raises, so the buy-in doesn't count for that. I think I am going to bid my fitness. I'm going to say Danny hasn't missed a game since he joined the minors. Has not missed 1 game for, like, injury reasons,
Yeah.
He's just, his fitness is absolutely ironclad. I think that's and like he was almost like a little scornful to himself when Slam Bam got hurt. Of just like somehow he thought that was him taking the easy way out, which again is not how I actually think about injuries. But Danny he's in his head at this point. He's probably about 24 now.
Yeah, I have my raise. I am raising my appearance. Slam Bam wears big fucking sports goggles.
Oh,
big fucking sports goggles, and
that's incredible.
Puts them on usually they're not necessarily. They are prescription, but they're not necessarily 24/7 prescription. So he's not necessarily wearing them during the game, after the game. You kind of see him put them on when he kind of is stepping up to the plate. It's one of those things of he stretches it around his hat. He pulls down the goggles. He adjusts them. So he's got those big, goofy looking sports goggles that I love with every fiber of my being.
They're just amazing. Okay, Slam Bam is kind of a star, right?
I think so.
I think there are people in the crowd who put goggles on when Slam Bam comes up. They have their own goggles that they brought from home, and they snap them on their head, and it irritates Danny to no end.
Love it. Adore it.
You don't need prescription glasses, fans. I just saw you. Yeah. I'm gonna say loyalty. I'm gonna bid my loyalty. I think that a lot of teams, a lot of places would be, especially as he's developed, be happy to have a player like Danny. He's not a major flashy star, but he is a very reliable get guys on baser. And in the stats Moneyball era, that is what matters, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think he has refused higher contract offers, or maybe not higher contract offers, but offers with more prestigious teams, or teams with a better path into the majors, because one team scouted him and one team, made him an offer, and he will never forget. He was picked by this team. They chose him. They saved his baseball career. It's not even an exaggeration to say, and he is forever in their debt, at least in his mind.
That rips. I like that. I am going to raise my signature move.
Ooh.
And this goes back to, I think we see Slam Bam at the plate, and he's got the bat. This might be the first home run. This might be a second one, but he's got the bat. And we see a glimpse of a young, Sam, at a game, but also watching, sports media, TV shows and movies and things, obsessed with that moment. And there's one thing that Slam is obsessed with. It's become his signature move.
Yeah.
To the chagrin of building managers and maintenance, his signature move is the Slam Bam Kaboom. He is obsessed with hitting a home run that hits the scoreboard, or that hits a lighting fixture. He is obsessed with the moment when you hit something and sparks fly out in a home run.
We're talking the end of the natural here.
Exactly that vibe.
Okay,
he's
perfect.
Obsessed with that, and has kind of set that as part of his being, and that's part of why he's got this oversized presence, is because win or lose, he's gonna swing for the fences and possibly make something explode.
Yeah, somebody's got a sign that just says "Slam Bam, don't hit my car."
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, it's the end of the natural, but it's the third inning, and you have to play still, and the outfielders are kind of annoyed. Yeah, perfect. That's glorious. And you actually have one more raise. I've used both of mine as I won the first seed, but you actually have one more raise.
My third raise is a reputation for, because we've already kind of talked about it and pointed toward it. I love that the fan favorite. I love the reputation of being a fan favorite. I love that the sort of performative nature of how Slam Bam plays, like, carries through. You know what I mean? Like, I love the sense that has carried through his career, even as he's kind of, like, changed his approach and played a little bit more seriously. Like, this is still a larger-than-life person and a larger-than-life presence on the field.
I love that a lot. Like, you know, he's not Sam anymore. He's Slam Bam.
He's Slam Bam. Everybody knows Slam Bam.
Some people probably don't even know his first name.
I think it says Slam. I think in a controversial move that might not carry through to the majors, his jersey 100% says Slam Bam.
It's fantastic. People would complain, but they're actually selling really well, and the league gets a cut. So,
yep,
yeah, that's beautiful. All right, so now we have both used up all our raises, and we are going to go ahead and call it. So first, let's just go ahead and list everything that came up. For Danny Dingers, we had his reputation as kind of a scrappy consistency type, the contact guy, ironclad fitness, and loyalty to his current organization as a whole, top to bottom, you know?
Mm-hmm. And for Slam Bam, it is his reputation as a fan favorite, his big home run goggles, which ties into that, like, larger than life fan favorite reputation, and his signature move, the Slam Bam Kaboom.
All right. I'm perfectly thinking that it is going to be called in Slam Bam's favor here. I mean, like, he was born for this moment. Like, he's gonna hit the big home run. He's gonna get the record. He's gonna win the game. Everyone's going to go nuts. The shop's going to sell out of goggles and jerseys. Something's going to explode. And I think Danny hits like a triple on the time, or like a double on when he on the time he could have tied you up at the end. I think he hits like a double instead. And like gets the run in, and like it doesn't even end up mattering at the end. But I think Danny plays it safe. He pulls back just a little bit to make sure he makes contact. And I think it costs him.
I adore it. I love it.
So why don't you walk us through Slam Bam's hero moment?
I think Slam Bam's hero moment is like, I think that we see, this is where I want the kaboom to happen, is like, because I think like the fans kind of expect it when he steps up. And the first time it doesn't go off. The second time it doesn't go off. It's that third home run that's going to like seal it. And, like, I think this is where we see a change in his persona of, like, I'm fucking hitting this home run. Like, I'm taking out that light fixture. I do, like, and, like, it is...
Does he point the bat?
Oh, he points the bat. He's absolutely... And it's not necessarily, like, he's pointing it at a light fixture, which is really funny.
Yeah. And he's probably broken that specific one, like, multiple times now.
Probably. Like, the maintenance crew is not happy, but he calls his shot, it explodes, and he is just thrilled. Like, he is just stoked. Like, that's when you see the relief. You know what I mean? Like, that's when you see the relief more than anyone of, like... I wasn't sure I was going to get to play the part. You know what I mean? It's not necessarily winning the award. It's getting to play the part for the fans is what causes the stress and relief.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. If you had more to play out in like that exact moment,
No, I think that's the beat. I think it is that sense of like, Danny, you acutely notice that the thing that matters to Slam Bam is not winning the thing. It is being the figure for the fans that wins the thing. It is playing the part that matters.
Yeah, I think Danny is on his way to congratulate you. He is on his way, and then he sees like the trophy, like just laying out somewhere while you're over celebrating with the fans. Like you got the trophy, they gave it to you, and you just like left it and went to go celebrate with the fans. And Danny just turns around and walks away. He doesn't come congratulate you. You don't see him. He was ready to, and he just feels like you just disrespect. Like, right? That's the shot. Is just Danny walking away, the trophy just sitting by itself.
And I think like it's amplified by the fact that, in part because I in part because I had a thing to say to Danny in that moment. Slam Bam is like looking for Danny, like an arm extended, in part because like I had already extended my arm to play out the moment of a handshake. Like arm extended to be like, we had a, like, that was great, does not get to have that moment. Like is shaken.
I think one of my teammates gives like a lame excuse to me, like, "Oh yeah, he wasn't feeling well, so he went back to the hotel. Sorry, but congrats, man. Hey, good job." Like one of my teammates gives you the congrats, and that probably is worse.
I am in shock. Like I look like I've been hit with a car.
It's just like, hey, are you all right, man?
And just kind of like drifts off without really saying anything.
That
rules.
Right there.
That rules.
All right. So the reward for the award-winning scene is the winner of the scene gets a nice shiny trophy. That's the whole extent of it.
Love it.
Sometimes winning is its own reward.
Love it.
So the post-scene questions at the bottom of page 17. You can pick some of these to answer, maybe. Where do you keep the trophy? Does the award truly make you happy? Or do you blow off the loss or vow to win it next year?
The award, until moments ago, the award truly made me happy. Like, for Slam Bam, like, it was the culmination of the story. You know what I mean? It was, Slam Bam needed to finish the story. Cody Slam Bam Rhodes needed to finish the story. Like he needed, again, it was, I need to play the part of the guy that wins this story. Like I want to give this to the fans.
Are you saying his dad like almost won this award a really long time ago?
And like never quite got it.
Yeah.
I love the idea that like for Slam Bam, like the thing that matters here is the fans wanted me to win this. Like the moment of like getting to celebrate with that should have been the thing that he's happy about. Like should have been the moment where
he should feel happier than he does.
But it's the fact that you walked away. Like I think it's a betrayal. Like I thought we both agreed that was going to be that was the vibe, that we were kind of like playing that we like I came out of being hurt because I thought that we were having this fun rivalry moment, and for you to turn and walk out means that it's not fun anymore. Yeah. And like that vastly changes our dynamic.
Yeah. And I think for Danny, it was, I thought this was about the award. I thought this was about excellence. And it was just you and your fans again. You and you didn't care about the trophy. You probably didn't care about the game. It was just you and your fans again. I thought you were different now. And that's where Danny is coming from. That
feels amazing.
All right. Where do you keep the trophy? I actually would really like to hear you answer that one.
Where do I keep the trophy? It feels like it could come off as gloating because he keeps it like front and center in his house. Like you walk in and you see the trophy on a mantle like directly in front of the door. Mm-hmm. And again, it's because he thinks it's really funny to have it there, and like it kind of like plays the character. Sure.
Like would Sam have this in his house front and center? Maybe not, but Slam Bam would.
Slam Bam's got it front and center, and like it allows him to like play that moment with the people that come to his house.
Yeah. You kind of give him the persona for a minute, and then yeah, I like that a lot. And if Danny ever had that experience, maybe he would get it. But, of course, Danny never comes to your house. You know?
Yeah.
All right. Also, Joe Bauman hit 72 home runs for the Roswell Rockets in his season.
That's a wild number. Fuck.
All right. So we're going to move on to scene 3. And that is the big one, I believe is what we had said we were going to do.
Yes, indeed.
All right. So we get 3 raises each for this one. Pull out all the stops. But first, we should probably define where we are and what we're doing.
Major leagues.
Yeah.
This is the pinnacle of the rivalry, possibly the biggest moment of your career. We're facing off again, and the stakes have never been higher. This is the major leagues. It's gotta be. Let's just if we're ringing the bell, we gotta ring the bell, and this has got to be like in the World Series.
100%. It's no such thing as too contrived.
No, this is we're playing for drama.
Yeah, I agree. The last line of the scene description, by the way, is whoever wins this moment will forever have the edge in the endless arguments between fans forevermore.
Yeah.
And that comes to me from like the Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes debate when Brady beat him in their last like face off.
Love that.
Yeah. So it's kind of that like, well, I mean, he did win the fill in the blank. So
Sure.
All right. So World Series. I mean, if we're gonna do it, we might as well go all the way. World Series Game 7.
Yeah, it's got to be Game 7.
Yeah.
And, like, it's been a contentious series. Like, it's been rough. I feel like it's been one of those, it hasn't been one of us came from behind. It has been, 1 for 1 for 1 for 1 for 1 for 1. Like.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It has been a win one, lose one series.
Yeah. Everybody's won their home game, I want to say.
That feels great. I love that.
All right. Now, do we want to pick teams? Do we want to like randomly determine? Do we want to just kind of leave it unnamed?
I'm fine picking teams. Because win or lose, go Phils. I think I have to put my guy in the Philadelphia Phillies.
I mean, I understand that. I'm trying to think. The Phillies are American League?
I believe so.
I'm afraid I do not know that off my head.
I'm going to look it up.
That does. Bad news, I got it wrong. It's the National League.
Well, that's what editing is for.
Hey, there we go. All right. So, yeah, National League Phillies, and I do not know. I'm going to say the Red Sox. I'm going Red Sox. That feels like a vanity team.
That feels and that is I mean that's a matchup is what that is. I mean,
you want to talk contentious fans, Boston versus Philly?
Boston versus Philly? This is a series with some toxicity behind it. I'm thrilled
one of these
about
two cities is in serious trouble. Just the infrastructure.
And I'm fucking thrilled about it.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, like, Slam Bam, like, when World Series, Slam Bam probably appeared like at WrestleMania earlier this year. Like it was in Philly.
And
Slam
for
Bam
sure.
did a spot. I don't know. It makes sense to me. Like he's becoming the character.
Oh yeah. Chokeslam Logan Paul in the United States title match. Feels
I
like
can
exactly
always get behind physical violence on Logan Paul.
Feels like exactly where you would want local sports legend to show up.
Yeah, for sure. Tommy Dreamer and Paul Heyman and whatever. You get the point. He's the legend.
I'm feeling the energy. Okay.
All right.
So we've got some pre-scene questions.
Yes. How do you specially prepare for this event? What would victory here mean to you? And what do you say publicly and privately in the lead up to this event? Which of those feels like the...
Publicly, I play the part. Publicly, I am all smiles and glad handing and chuckling. Privately, like, there have been reports that I have like not spoken to the team for a day or two, like for the days leading up to Game 7. Like, there are reports that I am like driving myself to the game and not going with the team. Like, there are reports that I am not the normal sunshine and smiles guy that I have been in the past. And like, I am markedly zeroed in a way that I haven't been previously.
Oh yeah. And it's not all season. It's just the series. Like,
it drags
on.
And it's even just like Game 7 of the series. Like it's like maybe like, and maybe you see it build game for game, but like it is culminating to the point where it's being reported on in the press, like it's Game 7.
Yeah, okay. I like that a lot. I think publicly, I am just a consummate media professional. I'm saying the things that you're supposed to say. I'm, saying that I'm just happy to be in this position, and I hope we can bring a championship home to the good people of Boston. And I don't care about the people of Boston. I don't even live in Boston. A chauffeur drives me in 45 minutes to Boston, to the stadium every day. Mm-hmm. I live as far from Boston as I can manage and still commute.
Mm-hmm.
I do not like Boston. Privately, that's what I'm saying. I'm probably married at this point, and to my wife, I'm just like, I do not like Boston. She doesn't like Boston. We don't like Boston. But that's where we are. I think that's what I'm saying publicly. Publicly, I'm all about the fans, the people, the team. I want to win one for the guys, for the city of Boston. And privately, I'm just like, I just want to win. I don't even try to make an excuse of why. I just want to win.
Sure, love it.
You want to do any others? Are you good with what we got?
I'm good. I'm ready to buy in and start raising.
Yeah. All right, let's do it. So, buy-ins are roughly simultaneous. Buy-ins can be, by the way, either buy-ins can either be a definition or buy-ins are always to define. So, just to clarify, please edit that. That was awkward.
Yeah.
Buy-ins are always. What's that?
I said I got my buy-in. I'm locked in and ready.
Perfect. I was gonna buy in to destroy, then I realized I can't do that. So,
I'm ready.
All right. Go ahead.
I am buying in with my health. And I don't think this is known publicly. I am retiring and retiring young.
Oh.
Like, this is it. There probably isn't another game after this. Being a power hitter on this level fucks you up pretty bad. And Slam Bam does not have another full season in the tank. And so this win is the capstone on everything.
He knows it.
Mm-hmm. He has privately made that decision well before this game. But like this series being so locked in and so back and forth is when he's like, I can't do this. I can't keep this going.
That's really good. I think I'm going to buy in with outside interest. I think, no, I don't like that. I think I'm going to buy in with like special appearance. I think that he has grown out his hair this season.
Mm-hmm.
And he calls it like, I don't even, like he's growing it out for the fan, like he's just gonna grow it out until like they lose, like they're done for the year, you know?
Yeah.
Like he's like, this is my, like a Samson style hair, kind of like this, it's kind of like a joke, but like it gives him the power and all that. And, so he's got this long hair, and he says it's like, the fan hair and whatever. It's kind of a fan favorite thing, but like his marketing group just told him it would it tested well, like when athletes grew out their hair long and they wanted him to try it. That's like the real reason.
Love it. I am raising with a destruction. I don't think I walk out to Hammer to Fall in this game. This game.
Oh, just this game.
I think it's just this game. I think the vibe, and I think it signals to the fans that the vibe is different this time.
So the first time he walks out and the song doesn't play, the fans are
like, oh.
Yeah, I like that. I think we're in Philadelphia for this game. That feels right.
That feels good. Citizens Bank Park.
All right, so I'm going to bid to destroy. I'm sorry. Relationship. I think that if he thinks about it, he hasn't called any of his siblings in at least a month and a half.
Mm-hmm.
And like they are all like through college and have thriving careers, and it's all because of his salary. And they know it, and he knows it. But there are some debts that can never be truly repaid, and they know it, and they try to repay it with love and quality time. And as a professional athlete, he just doesn't have the time. And so he doesn't, it's not that he doesn't love them anymore. It's not that he doesn't care anymore. He cares more about that than most other things in the world. But he just isn't there anymore. Like, he's not the oldest of 7 anymore.
Love it.
Doesn't feel like it.
Love it.
So bid to destroy family.
I am bidding to define. My husband is in the stands. We have had the I am retiring conversation, and I think like there is like a market energy around like in the stands around my husband of like the people in that area are noticing the change in body language, like that is also signaling to the crowd like, hey, something's up.
Yeah, I mean, and they know him too.
Yeah.
Like, It's
Richie
not a secret.
Badwin has been around the city for like has been around these games like all season. They know his energy. It's not the same here.
I like the idea that like he's entitled. I mean, you can run with this or not if
Yeah.
you're a fictional husband, but he's entitled to like a VIP box seat, but he kept the same season tickets he had before you guys even met.
I love it.
Like he
I love it.
refuses to upgrade.
He's like, I sit. This is my spot. This is my spot in the stadium. I got a great view.
It was my spot when my dad and I came, and it's my spot now.
Yep. It's great.
I like it.
I love it.
All right. I am going to bid. I think I'm going to bid entrance walkout song. I'm going to bid to define that. And it's going to be Shipping Up to Boston.
Sure. Love that.
And like Shipping Up to Boston is a wonderful song, but he's not Irish and he's not really from Boston. Like he switched it when he came here.
Sure.
I don't think it feels like, I think there's two sects in the crowd, two groups in the crowd. The people who are like, hey, shipping up to Boston, that's where I'm from, yeah. And then there's the people who are like, okay, but you're not from Boston.
Yes.
You're not Irish.
Yes.
Why are
100%.
you playing Dropkick Murphys? So I'm going to define that as his song. Like that is something that has changed since he got here. And, the crowd still goes crazy because, he still is a great player, but that's the song he walks out to.
And is this 3 raises?
It is
3 raises each?
Yep.
I got one more. I'm not doing the kaboom. There's no kaboom. It's that that is the move of a happier, less serious slam bam. Like, that is a slam bam move, and this is a Sam Badwin game. Like, I am focused on results this time.
I don't know. I can't get past that line. That was beautiful.
Right? I felt really good about it.
Yeah. And I think the last bid to destroy is loyalty to team. I hinted at it throughout the bidding here, but he left his like small market team to come to Boston to win.
Sure.
And like on one hand, it was the first thing he ever did for himself, probably in his whole life. And on the other hand, he doesn't feel good about it, and he knows it's not real. He truly does miss being back in Kansas City, but this is where he is now, and Kansas City wasn't going to win a title. And he wants the title. Because I think that's something neither of our guys have had yet.
Yeah.
And he
that
came
feels great.
he came here to get it, and he said, I'm going to go there and get it, and I'm going to get it, and he's not. And then, your Phillies have been on a miracle run this postseason. Like, they're the team they're the team that's not supposed to be here.
Yeah.
And we're the team that definitely are. But that's my final bid to destroy is my loyalty.
I love that. I adore it. This rips. I'm excited. I'm feeling the energy. And now it's time to call it. It's time to...
Yeah, it is.
I mean, fuck. I really don't know that I have a strong feeling on which way this goes.
I think first let's go over everything we bid.
Let's go over. Yeah. I have bid. My health is that I'm retiring young. This is my last game. My husband is in the stands. I have not been hitting the slam bam kaboom. I have destroyed that, and I have destroyed my walkout song. This is markedly not a slam bam game.
Yeah. Okay, so I bid to define a special appearance, long hair, throughout my playoff long hair. I have bid to destroy relationship with my family. I haven't talked to my sister in months, or any of my siblings. I bid to define entrance song, Shipping Up to Boston. And I bid to destroy loyalty to the organization that drafted me and the organization that gave me a shot.
I mean, fuck. We set some stakes, and now we got to figure out who's walking away.
I don't know. I mean, to be honest, in the most sports movie fashion, I think it feels right for you to win.
Okay, I'll take that.
I think that he became who he. I think if he was looking back from that first time they met, he would be proud of where he's at now, and I don't think Danny could say the same. And I think it's your win for that reason.
That feels good. That feels good. I think that that win happens. And I think that what it is, like the closing beat, right? The energy here at the end of the big game. What are our post-scene questions as I kind of start to flesh this out?
Yeah.
What are our arcing memories and what mementos do I save? The memory here is like, I destroyed it. I think that like Philly is the kind of city that would do this. There is they set up like some kind of an object, like they set up a little tiny bell or something specifically for Slam Bam to hit.
Yeah.
And I don't think I hit it the whole time. Like, and I think like the memory of, and it's a memory specifically of disappointment, because I think that this is the thing that has kind of defined Slam Bam's career. And like, I think that his memory of disappointment is he's like, I should have gone for it one last time. Like it's the memory of it being this like huge important moment kind of loses the sense of like what my career has actually been. Like the thing that my memory that I will always kind of regret is not hitting that bell one last time and thinking about like I didn't get to exit the field as Slam Bam one last time. And like that's I got the cheers, I got the moment, but like I didn't get to be Slam Bam one last time.
Yeah. I think the fans send you the bell anyway.
Sure. I love that. I adore that.
I think it sits next to your rookie home run trophy in the atrium.
Yep.
And your husband hates it. He thinks it's tacky, but you will refuse to let it change.
Hates it in part because like the bowl for our keys is underneath it, and I insist on throwing the keys at the bell, so you just hear a little like ring at random hours whenever like we get home. You just hear a dong. You got to stop with that.
Yeah. I want to do all the post-scene questions because that was the moment we made. But
yeah.
My overarching memory of the day is, I think just that is watching Slam Bam become Sam. Like I'm a designated hitter by this point. That's my thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I watch you decide to hit the double that'll put the tying run across instead of going for the home run that'll give you the glory. And I see it, and I approve, and I hate myself for approving, and I hate myself for walking away 11 years ago, or however many years ago. And, I watch the ball hit the back wall and bounce off, and I watch the outfielder throw, and I know it's not going to be in time, and I watch the Philly fans erupt, and that's my memory, is just watching you decide not to swing for the fences. And my other overarching memory is choosing to swing for the fences, trying to hit that home run and win it outright, and striking out.
Mm-hmm.
Striking out. Like, I was like 2 for 4 on the day, perfectly normal stat line, but I struck out at the end. And that's what I remember. And I like the idea that, like, after the game, nobody can quite figure out what happened to your bat.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the bat that put the tying run across. Right? You're probably the one that trotted into home on the winning run.
Yeah.
But nobody can figure out what happened to your bat. And, like, I've got it.
Love that. Love that.
I just took it and put it in my bag, and I can't explain why. But that is, like, that's where the bat went. And that's my memento. And what do I say to you? I think right away, nothing. Because I didn't get it. I didn't see that things were different.
Mm-hmm.
And I try to find you after your press conference, and I can't.
Sure.
It's me looking for you this time, and you left with your husband, and you're moving on from baseball, from me, and I wish I could see you.
Sure.
I wish I could talk.
The next time you see me is probably at the press conference where I announce my retirement. Like,
yeah, and I try to push through the reporters and get to you, and I can't make it through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's fantastic. What an ending beat. Fuck, this fucking ruled. That's game.
Yeah. Oh, I I feel bad for people that aren't real now. Dang.
Man, what
Role-playing is great.
Sports rule. Role-playing games are great. This was a blast. Thank you so much for playing this with me. I am overjoyed.
Thank you so much for having me. I am delighted to get to play with this with you.
This was magic. This was everything that I wanted it to be and then some. I could not be more stoked. What was your favorite moment from play?
I think my favorite moment was realizing that I wasn't going to be the good guy, and just trying to put myself in the shoes of like going from that spot of like, how can I take this wrong? Like, I know what your character's thinking, but how can my character take it wrong? And then just how he came from, having the most generic nickname ever, Danny. I came from Danny Dingers, some random guy who's the oldest of 7 siblings, and I came out with this very sad, lonely superstar.
Yeah,
and I think it was wonderful just seeing him develop and just how the characters became who they are because of the rivalry. That
ruled. For me, the moment that really sticks in my brain, like the level of bleed that I felt, the level of like impact that the moment had when Danny didn't shake Slam Bam's hand, like it knocked me. Like I was like, I literally was like imagining. I was like, I know the thing that I want to say to Danny in this moment. Like I know it, and I've got my arm extended to like fully in that beat. And then you said that the handshake didn't happen, and I just sank back in my chair. It just was like magic. It was just pure magic, and I thrilled.
I wanted to yell at Danny in that moment because I knew he was making a mistake, but I'm him, I could feel like, don't ask me why, but I could feel the cold air as he walked away.
Oh, sure. It was,
like, I could feel him making that was the line in the sand, I think. And that was great. So much fun. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. This was a pleasure. So real quick, before we wrap up, where can people find you and your work online?
Yes, you can find Rivals at Midnight Dreary. That's MIDKNIGHTDREARY, or like Poe, but with a K for night. At .itch.io. Rivals will be there. You can pick this game up, and I would love to hear how it makes you sad for people that aren't real, because dang, it did for me.
Love it. Well, thank you again so much for the show, or for the game, for playing this with me. I could not be happier, and for now, I'm going to throw it over to me in the future so that he can wrap up with the show.
Take it away, future Jeff.
Thanks, Luke, and thank you so much for joining me on the show and playing this game. This was just, what an absolute love letter to baseball and to sports stories, and like, it was everything that I wanted. Like, we sat down, we said what we wanted from this game, and I feel like, forgive my pun, I should be allowed to say this at least once in the episode, we knocked it out of the park. Anyway, be sure to head to Midnight Dreary, that's MIDKNIGHTDREARY.itch.io to pick up your own copy of Rivals, or you can check the show notes for more information. Then, as long as it's still a fucking website, maybe head over to twitter.com. Then while you're on Twitter, follow us at Party of One Pod. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/Party of One Podcast. Find us on TikTok at Party of One Podcast. Find us on Tumblr at Party of One Pod. Subscribe to our newsletter at buttondown.email/Party of One Podcast. And join our Discord community at bit.ly/Party of One Discord. If you enjoy the show, there's a lot of ways to support it. You can support us financially at patreon.com/JeffStormer or Ko-fi.com/JeffStormer. You can give us a nice iTunes review, shout us out to a friend, give us some love on social media. You can buy some Party of One merch at bit.ly/Party of One merch. Or, if you're looking for more great podcast content, you can check out All My Fantasy Children, which is a character creation, storytelling, and world-building podcast that I make with my best friend in the world, Aaron Catano Saez. We take a listener-submitted prompt and spin it into an original fantasy character, populating a shared universe one story at a time. You can also check out Yazeba's Bed and Breakfast, which is an actual play about a heartless witch, a cozy house, and the many people making their homes inside. Both of those you can find wherever you get your podcasts. Party of One is, as always, produced and edited by Jeff Stormer and Jen Frank. Music for the show comes from the song Infinite Lives by Mega Ran featuring the D&D Sluggers, and the Party of One logo is by Evan Rowland. If you'd like to inquire about advertising rates, coming on the show as a guest, or about press coverage of the show, you can email me at partyofonepodcast@gmail.com. And, unless I am mistaken, that is all we do here. So until next time, thank you so much for listening. Remember to fight the forces of fascism every single day. Remember that self-love and self-care are radical and defiant acts of resistance. And as always, party on, everybody.